let me ask you in relation to the second issue that we want to talk about, which will be very brief, just 3 minutes on that subject. We know the comment subsequently for which there's an apology by the vice presidential candidate of the MPP, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, made about your Nkrumah and the subsequent apology. Now, if you look at the perspective of what should be language, posture of the leading candidates, whether the presidential candidate, presidential candidate, etc., for this election period or campaign, following from that, what will be your advisory in terms of posture, the talk, so that we all take a cue before December 7th?
Well, first of all, I'll say the apology is not sincere. That's the first thing.
What do you mean by the apology is not sincere, Dr. Makuba?
Well, listen to me then. You said something, and supposedly the party leadership are behind you. Maybe they even advise you to apologize. Now you write an apology. Once you've written that, the regional chairman is stoking the fire. He said, Nana-Addo is so good that maybe Britain and the United States consider making him president over there. And nobody says anything. If all of you are sincere, then he should not be able to give us that nonsense. That's what it is. It's a juvenile attempt to deflect the focus from Napo to himself. He's done some of these things before, but this is just too childish. As for Britain, he said London, not Britain. Why would they go? Is it possible they can just go outside and pick someone and make him prime minister, not president? Is it possible? It is the same with the United States. And why is he doing it? And nobody says, hey, we have apologized, we have to appear sincere. But one is saying sorry, the other one is saying he stands by what he said. Who should we listen to? This is the same party. And so it's not sincere. It's win at all costs. That's all they're looking at. Whether it's lies, shenanigans, does not matter. Win at all costs. They have done it for so long that they've forgotten what truth is. And anything in this life that is devoid of truth will not go well. It means, in effect, the people in charge making that decision have no wisdom, because wisdom comes only from God and the truth. They have no wisdom. How can they make good decisions when there's no wisdom in it? That is what the Bible tells us. Wisdom comes from God only, not from the dark side. And this is why John says that the light shineth in the darkness, and that the darkness comprehended it not. This is what we've done for so long, because we don't understand it. Every intention we have is evil, just to make money. That's all. And so no wisdom in it. So we steal all the money. This is what is going on. This is what we've come to in this country. Some people behave as if the country belongs to them. It's a cabal. The government that is supposed to safeguard the interests of the country as the one who is pillaging the country. It has become a criminal organization. To their core, criminal organization. What is going on in this country? We are not fools like that. So they're afraid of the people. So they quickly remove the sale. Does it have to come to that before you do your job? Does it? You don't know what is right from wrong? If the assets are not all making money, and truthfully, sometimes that's what you get, then have a new strategy. Remove the ones that are making money, set them aside, let them go. Then the ones that are not making money, you can repackage it, you can refurbish it, all sorts of things, put more money in it, turn it into something, all possibilities. If it still doesn't work, then you can go dispose of it. That's how it is done. Not start by saying we want to sell it, including those that are making money. Why?
Okay.
You sell a akoko bedi and say you don't sell your akoko bedi. That's the one that lays the eggs.
Mm. You sell your akoko. Please explain that. Akoko what?
And a female, the hen. You don't sell the hen. That is laying eggs. You see?
I see. Well,
Yes, because that's the one that's making you money. You sell it to do what? You just sit there.
All right. Thank you for joining us this morning, Dr. Amwakuba, one of the leading members of the ruling MPP and also political scientist. Indeed contributes to discussions across the country on various platforms as well. And just 3 minutes for each of you on this.
Yes, you see,
just 3 minutes.
Yes, on the land issues, the sale of land. You remember in Bunahafu, when it was Bunahafu, there was an issue about vested lands, where the MP for Sunyani East and his brother, the then Asuma, yes, had issues over the possession of a vested land in one of the areas, I think Penkwasi or so. If you go to Tamale, it's the same thing. Almost all the quarters, government quarters, have been sold. And as we speak, I am told that there have been attempts to even sell the calendar, the lands around the calendar sports stadium.
Wow. In Tamale.
In Tamale. I mean, we should protect our assets.
And the judges,
and
bungalows.
I mean, it's on and on. But on the Napo issue, I loved how Dr. Amakuba tackled that. Because you see, if you read the 5th commandment in the Bible, it says that you should honor your father and your mother, and your days on earth shall be prolonged. Now, if you come into the New Testament in Ephesians, it says that this is the only commandment that has a blessing attached to it. When Napo was unveiled, if in his speech he had honored these presidents, even in addition to the current president, who actually has helped him, in my view, as he says, we wouldn't have been here. Dishonoring just one elder, dishonoring the father of the nation, is what has brought him chaos. And this is a damage that can never be repaired.
You mean after the apology and the advisor we should use good language?
The apology, in my view, is hypocritical. It should have been an unreserved apology. But what do we see? Have you read the apology? Paragraph 2. The statement reflects my personal opinion about President Akufo-Addo's impact relative to other presidents we have had. I wish, the paragraph 3 says, I wish to emphasize that I never meant to disrespect our former president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, or any of our former heads of state, including my own grand uncle and mentor, Mr. John Ejikun Kufuor. You have a mentor who you think has not performed, and he's still your mentor? We've asked you to apologize. Your apology should come in absolute terms. You do not come to apologize with explanations. Roland, if you are a leader, and anytime you have spoken, you need another person to help explain, to make your people understand what you meant. And I'm sorry. This apology, in my view, was hypocritical. When I read it, I laughed. Because, you see, he is not apologizing, but he is rather trying to explain his stance and make us understand that what he meant was that President Akufo-Addo has been the best performing president. And President Akufo-Addo isn't your mentor, but rather one of the presidents who have not been able to perform is rather your mentor. What are the elements you consider when you are selecting a mentor? These are all things we should look into. So I think that Napo has not helped himself. In my view, that statement he made was needless. It was politically incorrect. And I think that I just want to be charitable. It was an irresponsible statement. He should just apologize and let's go. As for this apology, as Dr. Makuba has stated, it is not an apology.
Okay. 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. You see, there's one thing that I thank God for.
Which is what?
The affable nature of John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jenana Opoku Ajima. Look, when Prof had her colorful inauguration at UPSC, look at public reaction afterwards. And then look at the public reaction to Kofi Baboni after his inauguration. Look, for the first time,
Oh, I just got it.
Otumfuo Opimsuo had cause to advise you openly. He hardly does that. Then you look, show some respect to him. Less than an hour after the advice, Kofi Baboni was already bathing in the mud. Look, in fact, the person he had disgraced is Otumfuo. And it pained me so much. Because you see, hardly do chiefs put their integrity and everything on the line for you. Or say, whoa, me na metiti wo, na Ghana for say. But momonka, ba mema enye den enwo honum. What else would you expect from Otumfuo? The man never gave you up. He stood by you. Less than an hour, you were out there bathing in the mud. But you see, this is who Napo is. Look, in 2012, there's a Daily Graphic report about his violence. That is what is noted for.
What do you mean by violence?
In fact, to the extent that he was arrested by the regional police commander, Jenny, and bailed. It's a matter of public record. Napo, the MPP running mate today, was arrested by the police and bailed. So he has a police record. That's aside. As I speak to you, there's a guy under the Ministry of Education. They bought mathematical set that is selling for 15 Ghana cedis, for 75 Ghana cedis. Inflated. When he was asked, what was his response? He said, oh, national security reason. Two, this is a man.
Also, there's a special mathematical set.
I beg you. This is a man.
Customized.
Who stood on public platform and said, former President Mahama had bused parents and wards to the Independence Square when children were fainting. That was his response. This is a man, when school kids were complaining that they do not have a place to defecate, what was his response? He said, you are lucky that you have black polythene bag to use. This is a guy who told the good people of Volta region, when their MPs were begging, that, Nana, we beg you, tidal waves are worrying us. So please, get us budgetary allocation to resolve this tidal wave. Napo went into the studios of Asempa FM and said if Ken Oforiatta makes the mistake of including budgetary allocation for tidal wave victims, he was going to state. Now, a man who can say this openly, what is it that he's saying behind the scene? And look, if you take the fact that Napo had demonstrated
the apology.
Look, as we speak, the chiefs of Nkrofo in the Western region have issued a statement that he should come there and apologize. I saw him at the palace of Wasakropon Chief, Nana Tetrete, who happens to be the board chair also, Forestry Commission, and justify the statement. It's important to know this. The day after Ghanaians were angry, he went into the palace and said, Ghanaians like liars. Na Ghana for the omudin trono no omupo masem. And that it is because he speaks the truth. That is why Ghanaians do not like him. Now, so if what you said was the truth, why are you apologizing? Sebio, yese obanyansafo, yebunibe, yenkanasem.
Frederick Sechi
Napo
says,
has demonstrated
well-spoken, Dr. Mwakuba, leaders of this country should come out boldly to speak up and condemn the rots, arrogance, and state capture, especially the Ejapadia document deals, which are gradually manifesting by the day. Have you read the document?
A second.
Oh, Tamale West Hospital. You know they have sold it.
Christina says.
Hold on. You know they have sold. You know they have sold.
You are very wise.
Do you know that they have sold the Tamale West Hospital lands in Tamale
do you remember,
to private individuals? Roland, send your reporters to go to Tamale West Hospital.
Okay, so Patrick, emailed and Nasser, all of you watching and who watched us this morning, we're grateful, and for all the comments as well.
Roland, you remember Alan spoke about Christ-like leadership.
Christ-like
leadership.
Is it part of the GTP?
It is part of the GTP because we have the behavioral and mindset change.
Okay.
If you have Christ in you and you have his attributes in you.
Napo goes to make us out. You don't make us out. Let's catch out. BT slide. The state catcher has reached a level.
Why is Roland
the court is in court over judicial service. Yeah, I know. The judicial service has sued the Attorney General and then also the prison service as well. I have Zachariah, Master Planner. That's a Master Planner Junior. Eduji calling his colleague parliamentary. This is the guy. I'm highly disappointed in him. And then also we have Sampi Yali. Also